Islam, Islam, Islam. We are here. We are here. We are here. Peace and love to the Moors. Yeah, just came on real quick. You know, make promises to yourselves. You know, you can't, betray yourselves. You got to keep your promises. So yeah, Islam, Islam, Islam. We are here. We are here. We are here for 30 minutes more or less. This is our Saturday study session once again. I think this is like the third or fourth one. Islam to all those jumping in real quick. I won't keep y'all too long because it's Saturday night. I guess people got stuff to do. I have some books to engage in. So yeah, let me make this expedient. So yeah, so this study session, which was inspired by the 40 days of gifting, started by the Moors who want to, who are so grateful for what we've gathered or been given by the nation and by our most illustrious prophet, and of course, the great God Allah. We want to give something back. So that started the study sessions, and I invited Moors to ask questions, and if I can answer them, I shall. Islam to those joining in. Peace and love, peace and love. So yeah, it started off as, let me help these Moors sue these fools. So, it becomes a costly, it becomes costly to bother us, that kind of thing. Right. But then, like I said, I invited Moors to ask me questions, and they did. And I'm like, well, let me go that way. And so I got a question about how to set up a business as a Moor. And then after that, another question about consecration. It led into consecration of your business. And then now for the third, it is the third week, got another question. I'll just read it to y'all. It says, can I place my 21-year-old daughter, who's a Moor, on my paperwork, or would that send a red flag? And then she goes on, she forgot that she has she already has an EIN number, and it's listed as a sole proprietor for her homeschool tutorial, quote unquote business. And now she's confused as how to move forward with that, or let that go and create a new quote unquote business with the way that I've been instructing. And Islam to the Moors. And my instructions, I'm just giving back what I've actually applied and seen success with, and not like, oh look, something good happened this month. No, something has been good consistently over the past 5 to 10 years. No less than 5 years, right? Closer to 10, that kind of thing. Because I've been to jail. I don't want to go back to jail, and I certainly don't want to be responsible for somebody going to jail. So yeah, now I feel like I'm in a position to give back, because it's like, I think this is good to go, that kind of thing. So this Moor asks, can I place my 21-year-old daughter on my paperwork as far as her business, or would that send a red flag? My thing is, send a red flag, right? Have you all ever wondered about, just listen to that idiom, red flag, right? I like red flags. I have 2 red flags in my home, one upstairs and one upstairs in my room, right? And then I got another one downstairs in my living room. So when people first walk in, they know what it is. So yes, red flags are good, right? And as far as family, that's nothing that hasn't been going on since people just started, keep letting their children stay. Or, they just, I don't know, has it ever not been a thing? Because it's like, okay, when did people start sending? I can't imagine sending your children away unless they you just can't take it no more, but yeah. So to answer the question, no, it wouldn't be an issue to add your daughter to your business. If anything, it would make, to me, in my eyes, it would make your business look more stable, because it implies continuity. Like, oh my goodness, those are the same last name, right? Or, oh, look at this person has these the 2 signatures on here. When I do my background check, even though they got different last names, and if that's the case, they're like 30 years apart. So again, there's the continuity. It looks more legit in my eyes, but that's just me. right? So, and again, it's nothing that hasn't been addressed or been, applied throughout the ages, right? I don't want to get ahead of myself, right? But the title of this was, or is, what is it? Household rules, house rules, or family affair, right? I prefer the word house as opposed to family. And the reason I actually looked it up in my, my Black's Law Dictionary, which is right there, right? I'm not about to flip through this big old thing because it's kind of heavy and cumbersome. So, but yeah, I looked up some definitions, not assuming nothing. So referring to my 4th edition Black's Law, it read that family, the definition of family, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's like, what is that? It's 3 pages long in my dictionary. So, but to get the first portion of the 3-page definition, family is defined as the word used to designate many relationships. Okay. Collins, the Northwest Casualty Company, blah, 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 the citation, right? And then it goes on. In the broad sense, family means a collective body of any 2 persons living together in one house as their common home for the time, followed by a citation, right? And it goes on. And I'm looking at, okay, it just goes on. It has these different definitions. It says in the most common use, in the narrow restricted sense, in ordinary conversation. But where I'm looking is at the restricted sense. It says in the restricted sense, the word family may be interchangeable with households. And it gives another citation, legal citation. So in the restricted use. So if I'm just saying family, generally, not caring what I'm saying, being sloppy or whatever, it designates many relationships. Wow. Yeah, that's true. It's like saying love. That could mean anything, right? But in the narrow sense, in the restricted, actually, I like that better. The restricted sense, it may be synonymous or interchangeable with household. So then I jumped and looked at household, right? So, but before I go to household, that's a compound word. So first I'm gonna look at house, right? And that's again another long definition. This one is only 2.5 pages instead of 3. So it starts with house, a dwelling, a building for the habitation and residence of men. And then it gives a citation. And then it goes on. House presumptively is a dwelling house. House is not synonymous with a dwelling house. Okay. Again, house is not synonymous with a dwelling house. And it goes on. It says the name house is also given to some, what does that say? Is also given to some collections of men other than legislative bodies, to some public institutions, or colloquially to mercantile firms or joint stock companies. That's the part that that caught my attention right there. So your house, can I involve my children in my business? You most certainly can, because they're part of not only are they a part of your family, they're a part of your house. All right. I like house because that could include a bunch of people. Right. So, let me see. Was there any more to that? It says, household. Then I'm gonna go to house. So that's house, right? It's presumptively a dwelling house. It's not synonymous with dwelling house. Of course, I'm looking at the legal definitions, right? Because we're dealing with setting up a business. So we're dealing with legal definitions. All right. So now the household. Household, a noun, a family living together, check, followed by case citation, blah, blah, blah. Those who dwell under the same roof and compose a family, right? That's Webster's definition. A man's family living together constitutes his household, though he may have gone to another state. Did you catch that? So you can be a part of my household, even though I don't live with you, right? So I could set up a business in this, or a household in this building, in this commercial building, or an office building, whatever, and I can go back to the Bahamas, right? So to speak, right? So anyway, so synonymous with family, household is synonymous with family. but broader in that it includes servants or attendants, all who are under one domestic head. And then it says to see the citation. So yeah, that's why I refer to myself as a house, right? I'm not copying off anybody more than I'm taking back our science. So when I look at these so-called royals who make sure, when challenged, they point to a crest with a face that's, sun-kissed and hair that's like, wool, whatever, So I'm taking it back. And they don't have families, they have houses. And I now see why, based on these definitions, here go the people that I'm related to by blood, presumptively, that's my family. And then those who help us to persist as a family, help us, protect our interests. That's my household. Because who are involved with royal families? They got coachmen, attendants, ladies in waiting, all that kind of stuff. So that's how I think our people should be looking at it. Are you going to expand, or are you just like thinking about your situation at present, right? I'm looking to expand, right? Because I personally have 4 children. So expansion is going to happen whether I like it or not. Islam to everybody who's here. All right. So that's house or family and household, right? And that was to answer the sister's question about would that be a red flag putting her daughter on her paperwork. Again, I support red flags because what kind of flag is the Moorish? It is a red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the middle, right? So yes, I like red flags, and I understand. I see now why others don't necessarily appreciate them as much as we do. But yeah, and so that covers that part. And then the second part of her question, and then I think this might be it, because I have some other things to attend to, and I'm guessing you all do too. Her second part was she already has an EIN number with the IRS, and she's listed as a sole proprietor for a business she already has set up. It says quote unquote. So I'm gonna guess that there's nothing like incorporated yet. If you don't have anything attached to this EIN number, or even if you do, shut it all down. If you have a business attached to it, just shut it down, right? You just file a notice of dissolution, or you have to look it up for your state to see what it's actually called, and just be like, I'm shutting down shop. You can close that one down. And then you can use that same exact information if you have had a business set up, use that same exact information to set up a new business under a new EIN that is not set up as a sole proprietorship. I would definitely not set me personally, I would not set up anything that would be involving my interaction, that would require my interaction with other people, especially other people's people, like their children. No, I'm not setting up no sole proprietor. That's going to have to go something incorporated. So if something happens, you can't take every single thing I own and impoverish my next 3 generations. You got to deal with the business, right? Not saying that you anticipate having those issues, but you should anticipate having those issues because, that's life. So, yeah, if you already have an EIN number, and you don't have a business that you're using to do anything, you don't have a bank account attached to it or anything, you don't have to do anything. Just toss it. I looked it up. They were like, and I was like, yeah, do you actually have to cancel those things? They're like, no, you don't have to cancel it. Once it's assigned, it's never reassigned. Just don't use it. Only thing you really have to do is notify them if like a address changes or something like that, but otherwise, yeah, just set up a new business and start fresh, right? And I would recommend when you start fresh, with your new EIN that you use to set up your LLC or your religious corporation, include your children, right? It's like I look forward to the day my children turn 18. I got 1 already and 1 on the way and 2 more to go, right? And I'm seeing the benefit. It's not necessarily that they're helping me with anything because they're so young, right? But based on the fact that I set them up so that when they turned 18, they already had an 800 credit score when they turned 18, because I set up their credit using my credit. Now I can put you on my businesses and actually leverage that information, right? So yeah, you go ahead and go to school without having to get student loans. You can apply for your own personal loans, which have a lower interest rate, because you don't need no cosigner, because you have a 800 credit score. And heck yeah, I'm putting you on my business. So then when I go and apply for a credit card for this business, the CEO is she knows she's the CEO. She has an 800 credit score. You know, what's the problem? Right? And then she got her this other party. Okay, so who else is on this? Me, the one that gave her the 800 credit score, because it's mirroring the way you do it, and I can help y'all with that if you just ask me. I don't know why people charge for this stuff. How you can build your children's credit score when they start, I guess when they're about 16. By having your stuff has to be straight to start with. So you have a credit card and you just make them an authorized user on your card, and now as long as they don't mess your stuff up by misusing the card, their credit, if I understood this correctly, because I saw it on my daughter's 18th birthday, your credit score is mirrored as their credit score. And then when they turn 18, it's like they cut that cord, and whatever your score was when they turned 18, that's now your children's score starting out, instead of starting with a 0. And yeah, to wrap it up, coming back around to, yes, you can add your child to your business. I actually encourage it. Set up something where it's available. It's actually where you can put your child on your paperwork, like a religious corporation or an LLC with members, right? And then, let's look at some examples. How many are there not? I mean, have you ever heard the word dynasty? What was that made of, right? These weren't people just running businesses. They were running entire empires, right? Isn't a dynasty? Okay, so I know a kingdom is a collection of, municipalities, blah, 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 and states. And then an empire is a collection of, what is that? Kingdoms? So is a dynasty a collection of empires? And that was run by families, right? Or is it just the length of a time thing, right? But anyway, so again, having your children on there, it makes sure that at least in my experience, control remains in whoever's running the company. It remains with whoever's running the company. So basically, like, okay, if you're the founder, you're running the company because everybody's used to doing as you say, right? It makes things run real smooth, right? Or in my case, they just let you, like, yeah, whatever. Thanks for letting me know. They know I'm not going to misuse their name type of thing. Because really it comes down to, I just need your name on this. I really don't need you to do anything, right? So if you're wondering why people are like, how you on like 300 board of directors? Because they really don't have to show up for anything, right? It also, like, again, it assures smooth succession if you use it right. So if something happens to you, right, you don't have to worry about, who's going to run the corporation because the treasurer got sick, the CFO. Get it? It's nothing. What's that a question? They got a CEO, or not the CFO, the CEO runs the corporation. They already got that person in place, right? And again, circling back around to the numerous examples, you got the royal families, right? All the noble families that extend from them, banking families, right? Political families. Whenever you're hearing about real power moves, it's never like an individual. I think the only individual I hear about is like Putin, Xi Jinping, and who's that other guy? Kim Jong-un. They don't roll with their families, and it sticks out. It's kind of weird. Everybody else you hear about, like the Biden family, the Kennedy family, the Windsor family, right? Because those families equal networks while you at it. So yeah. So there you go. Thank you for joining all the Moors who popped in real quick. A little housekeeping. Don't forget to support Moorish entrepreneurship, CalifaMedia.com. 20% of everything we collect goes to Mercy Charities, MRCI Charities.org, a Moorish charity run by Moors, the CEO of which is my daughter. See how that works? She's actually the CEO, right? She actually knows what's going on and knows all the donors and all that good stuff. So yeah. yeah, because I needed a CEO and I didn't have time to look for one, so I put my daughter on there, and she stepped up, kind of, sort of, right? So yeah. With that being said, thank you all for joining, and if you have any questions, hit me up. Again, I keep saying it every week. If nobody has any other questions about the business part, we'll go back into suing these folks so that you will be able to protect your business interests, right? If you want something in the meantime, as far as business, I suggest reading or finding the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, Why Rich People Own Corporations and Everyone Else Works for Them. That's an excellent book on setting up your own business, or it's like a good overview. And then if you can get a hold of a copy of it, Jurisdictionary is a good breakdown on the basics of how to sue people, sue their socks off. All right. And with that, if you got any questions, suggestions, comments, I can be reached at Islam at CalifaMedia.com or info@CalifaMedia.com. Gratitude, peace and love, and bye-bye. Y'all.